Welcome back to the Bike Alex, Gearheads. Today, we are diving into something truly legendary, the 2025 Shelby Cobra 427. A name that's been etched into racing history, a car that defined raw American muscle, and now, in 2025, it has returned with a modern rebirth that still pays homage to its roots. This isn't just another sports car. It's the return of an icon. The Shelby Cobra has always been a symbol of speed, power, and rebellious design. With Carroll Shelby's DNA running through its veins, the Cobra 427 isn't just about driving, it's about dominating the road with unapologetic force. In this video, we'll break down everything, from the design, performance, engine, handling, technology, and heritage, all the way to whether the 2025 Cobra truly lives up to the legend of the original. So buckle up, because this ride is going to be intense. History of the Cobra 427. Before we talk about 2025, we have to rewind. Back in the 1960s, Carroll Shelby took a small British roadster and decided it needed an American heart. He dropped in a massive Ford V8, creating the original Cobra, the most famous of them all. The Cobra 427. Built to compete with Ferraris on the racetrack, it was light, brutally fast, and terrifyingly powerful. In fact, it was so raw that even professional drivers respected its bite. The Cobra wasn't refined, it was wild. And that's exactly why it became a legend. Fast forward 6 decades, and Shelby American is reviving that monster, but with a modern twist. The question is, did they keep the Cobra's wild spirit alive, or did they tame the beast for today's world? Exterior design, classic meets modern. One glance at the 2025 Cobra 427, and you know exactly what it is. Shelby didn't ruin the formula. The long hood, short rear deck, and muscular fenders are all here. But look closer, and you'll see modern touches. The body is now made of lightweight carbon fiber, reducing weight while keeping structural rigidity. LED headlights replace the old round sealed beams, but they're styled to look retro. The massive front grille, side exhaust pipes, and wide stance scream aggression. And let's talk wheels, forged aluminum wrapped in ultra-high performance tires. The car looks ready to pounce, sitting lower and meaner than ever. Shelby has managed to blend 1960s curves with 2025 aerodynamics, making the Cobra not just beautiful, but functional at insane speeds. Engine and performance, the heart of the beast. Alright, let's get to what everyone wants to know. What's under the hood? The 2025 Shelby Cobra 427 doesn't disappoint. At its core is a 7.0-liter V8, inspired by the legendary 427 big block, but re-engineered with modern technology. We're talking naturally aspirated, pushing out an astonishing 700+ horsepower. But here's where it gets interesting. Shelby also offers a supercharged version, cranking power past the 800 horsepower mark. 0 to 60, around 2.9 seconds. Top speed, over 210 miles per hour. Unlike the old days, this Cobra isn't just about straight-line chaos. With advanced traction control, adaptive suspension, and carbon ceramic brakes, the 2025 version can handle corners like a true supercar. Yet, even with all this technology, Shelby kept it raw. A manual transmission option is available, yes, a proper stick shift in 2025. That alone proves Shelby is staying true to enthusiasts. Interior, minimalist but modern. Step inside, and you'll notice something. The Cobra 427's interior is still about the driver. No oversized screens, no clutter. Just pure focus. The 2025 interior is wrapped in premium leather, Alcantara, and brushed aluminum. The gauges are digital, but styled to look analog, keeping that vintage vibe alive. You've got modern bucket seats, racing harnesses, and a flat bottom steering wheel. There's also a small infotainment system tucked neatly into the dash. Nothing flashy, just enough to give you navigation, Apple CarPlay, and performance telemetry. Shelby knows what matters here, the drive. Technology, modern engineering meets old school soul. The 1960s Cobra was raw, no abs, no traction control, no safety nets. The 2025 version had to evolve, but Shelby made sure not to dilute the experience. We get launch control for blistering starts, selectable drive modes for road, track, and even wet conditions. Active aero system that adjusts spoilers and diffusers at high speeds. Advanced cooling system to keep that 7.0-liter beast from overheating. But the car doesn't drown you in assists. The systems can be dialed back, letting skilled drivers unleash the Cobra in its purest form. Driving experience, taming the snake. So what's it like behind the wheel? Journalists lucky enough to test early prototypes describe it as brutal yet refined. On one hand, the car feels explosive, every press of the throttle launches you forward with gut-punching force. The exhaust roars with that unmistakable American thunder, echoing the glory days of big block version 8S. On the other hand, the chassis, suspension, and electronics make it controllable. You don't feel like you're wrestling a wild animal, instead, you're mastering it. It's still a Cobra, but now it's a Cobra you can actually push to its limits without fearing for your life. Heritage and legacy, Carroll Shelby's spirit lives on. Carroll Shelby once said, "I wanted to build a car that would blow off the Ferraris." The original Cobra did just that. The 2025 version continues this mission, now taking on modern supercars from Ferrari, Lamborghini, and McLaren. But more than that, this car keeps alive a philosophy: lightweight body, massive power, and driver-focused design. In an era where cars are becoming electric, autonomous, and sanitized, the Cobra 427 is a breath of fresh air. It reminds us why we fell in love with cars in the first place: passion, danger, and excitement. Price and availability, who gets to own one? Now, let's talk numbers. The 2025 Shelby Cobra 427 isn't cheap. Starting price: around $350,000 for the base naturally aspirated version. The supercharged version, easily past $450,000. And even if you have the cash, good luck. Production is extremely limited. Shelby plans to make only a few hundred units worldwide, each hand-built. This means the Cobra 427 isn't just a car, it's an instant collector's item. Competition, how does it stack up? So, how does the Cobra 427 compare to today's supercars? Ferrari SF90 Stradale, more tech, hybrid power, but lacks the rawness. Lamborghini Revuelto, insane design, V12 hybrid, but heavier. McLaren 750S, surgical precision, but not as emotionally loud. Dodge Viper ACR, legacy, closest in spirit, but no longer in production. The Cobra 427 isn't trying to be the fastest on paper, it's about delivering the purest, most visceral driving experience in 2025. And in that category, it might just be unbeatable. Collector's dream, investment potential. The original Cobras are now worth millions. In fact, some of Carroll Shelby's personal cars have sold for over $5 million at auction. The 2025 version may not reach those numbers instantly, but given the limited production, Shelby heritage, and performance, it's almost guaranteed to skyrocket.